like big garages, and we made like a little meme, and it said, if you played garage in our, or if you played beer pong with beer in our garages, you can't get COVID. So because whatever is in that cup definitely wasn't clean. Like
I was vindicated for the years of COVID, man. Shouts to Ty, bucket hat boy, point 0.5. You know what I'm saying? The throughout the COVID times, we were still rocking the pod, and I was making jokes about how I was actually following every order, and I was like one of the last of the Mohicans to get that shit. But now,
yeah,
COVID's kind of dwindled, or now it's just part of America, part of the
whatever it
world
is,
now.
yeah.
And now it's just like, nah, Jesse, you step outside, we're gonna hit you with some sickness that is not quite COVID, so you can't get a handle on it, but it's worse than some simple stuff. So figure it out.
No, I think I have a pretty rock iron immune system, oddly, but like when I go down hard. Like I'm a little bitch. Like like
Oh,
if,
facts,
if
dude.
it's enough where I if it's enough where I gotta call in or start taking naps in the middle of the day, and if you call me, I'm like, oh no, like
Nah, dude, I'll forever be 4 years old when I'm sick, man. Like I know
absolutely.
firsthand. I've said I could take like big amounts of pain. I've been in a car accident. Had multiple surgeries, repaired from, injuries. I played hockey. I got beat up as a little brother my whole life. I've gotten in fights. You know what I'm saying? Taking
Right.
punches to the face, but don't. I can't take a needle. You know what I'm saying? I
You
can't
you
take.
you the common cold, nah, that's it.
Yeah, and don't hit me with the sniffy whiffies. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta blow my nose more than 10 times in a day. I'ma cry. So.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I've been dealing with, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know you holding it down the shy, dude. What's the sales life been like?
Hey, I think I'm up. Been kind of getting back to just working my regular job. Yeah, I got a little bit of a side hustle, but I haven't been doing it as much. I think what I like to call Big Deal Curdy is coming
Mm.
back. I got a pretty massive one that fingers crossed it's coming. And Big Deal Kurt moves a little different, like
Mm.
real different. So
Mm.
work's been good, but with that time, I've been trying to hit the gym, and I think everyone has their opinion about the gym, right? It's a wild place, dude. Talk about going out in public where shit gets a little sideways. I'm throwing the gym up there.
Ironically, dude, I've been pro gym my whole life. I started working out when I was like 13 years old. I worked at the YMCA gym. They have like three
Yeah,
machines. And up until recently, bro, it was a culture, a place that I loved. It was like one of the like a safe space. I don't feel safe at the commercial gyms anymore, bro. So
well, it's
I don't
just
know.
there's so polar opposites of people there, and again, I am not clearly not a fitness guru, not the health nut, not a gym hardo.
I
But
clearly am. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Nah.
also, but I'm also not some of these people that are like standing around or like, I played sports in high school. Again, I wasn't anything special, but I was in the gym. I know what exercises I should do. I know like if you're doing chest, you should do tries. You should have a day for legs. Mix in 15 to 20 minutes of cardio every time you go to the gym. Like I understand all that, but I think especially in like even the social media age, like you got the people that are going there for like performative things,
It is
and then
issues, yes.
and then you got the people that are there that are like hardos. Like last week, like I went to go, it was my leg day, so I went to go do like like the thigh machines, like the one where like you have like the curls where it works. Your hamstrings as well as your thighs. I'm like, let's get like a nice pump on that. I already worked my calves, whatever. All of those machines, and again, I go to this place called Export here. It's kind of like a chain here. I don't know if it's outside or not, but um, there was three different dudes doing non-leg exercises on this machine, and it was like intense as hell. And I was like, bro, like, why are you doing that much? Like,
Mm.
they have ab machines, right? Like, why do you got to do it on the leg machine? Like, now you're just inconveniencing at a minimum 5 people, maybe 20. Like
They're
a lot of these
innovators.
gyms
You
in
know what I'm saying?
Chicago.
They gotta not only lift the most weight, they gotta lift the most unique weight as well.
Right. And I might be a little petty, and I don't normally wish bad things on people, but I'm like, yo, I want this dude to bust his ass so bad. Like, not like serious injury, but like enough for him to be like, you know what, that was probably a stupid idea. I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm with that, bro. Like I used to be very conservative in the sense of I used to be like, yo, like do the machine, like you're saying, like use the machines what they're for. Then I got even isolated in the sense that like I like to work out just in an area, and I like do different workouts within that area. All the way now to I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just use the gym for the stuff I don't got at home. A hot tub, or I guess I have a hot tub at the apartment, but like boxing, the punching bags, or the sleds, or the box jumps, the 12 box jumps and stuff. Very tall. You know what I'm saying? Check your
yeah,
stats. Nah, but
you're out there.
I be out there,
Actually,
bro.
you're more out there than I thought you were out there with that. I was like, all right, I see you. JB
Yeah,
got some hops.
I appreciate you, man. I be working on it. You know what I'm saying? So, post surgical too. This is a
Hey,
surgically repaired foot. You know what I'm saying? But
don't get it twisted.
nah, definitely don't get it twisted. But nah. So, um, now I'm like, yeah, let me just use the hot tub and stuff. But the LA Fitness, bro, trash, bro. And maybe you get what you pay for, but the hot tub's always down. The steam room's always under maintenance, or it's overcrowded, which means it's about to be under maintenance.
Right.
And I just I a little bit of the Truman Show, or like what's that called? Groundhog's Day, or any other main character show where I'm like, all right, I get off work at 2:30. I'm like, everyone should be at their jobs till at least 5. I should be Gucci. I should be mixed in with the Pilates class and stuff. But no, I get there and it's just as busy as it would be at 5 o'clock. So
Well, and like you're kind of even hitting on a segue for me. Like, so I went today. Like, I knew we were doing this later. I'm like, all right, I'll get off work. I'll go to the gym. I'll cook. I'll hop on with Jesse. We'll do this. So I like using the pool and the hot tub and the sauna because it's good for my joints. I like my cardio there. I hate being on the hamster wheel, whatever thing. Like that's the way I like to get my cardio if I'm not playing a sport. And I was like, all right, cool. It's like 4 o'clock. People probably aren't out of work yet. Like I'm lucky because I have my work schedule. I'm gonna get in now. This place was mobbed. The pool, all the lanes in the pool were mobbed, and then, bro, I had to throw the pause card out. I wanted to pull the pause card out in the fucking hot tub. There's 4 or 5 dudes, and man, were they throwing out some zesty noises with that fucking jet. I'm like, bro, like this ain't that type of place, my guy. Like,
yeah, you gotta be sacred in the hot tubs. The hot tubs gotta be silent, bro.
you go silent, get in and get out, get a little bit. I'm like,
There's
and it
a
was
weird.
all dudes too. Like, there wasn't even no chicks and there's never chicks in the hot tub, but like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
No, hey, no
this is
shade to
a
the
public
dudes
gym.
enjoying dude company, but there is this unspoken rule, which is weird. If it's 4 or more people, it should be silence, right? If it's
Right. Like, if it's you and one dude you already know, fine.
yeah,
Like,
you talk. Yeah, if it's just 2 people, you gotta talk. If it's 4 or 5 dudes, you gotta shut up. You know what I'm saying?
my presence there should have taken like the noises being made and the conversation being had down. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. I'm a loud guy and I talk to strangers and shit. But again, the stuff coming out of these guys was zesty as hell. And
Okay,
I'm
well,
like,
let me ask you this, because I talked about this on my show, on the I Don't Know show, the second installment on Bucket Up Media. What up? This is not only the leftover show, this is the reference show, baby. We
referencing.
always bringing it back to the universe. Nah,
Right.
so, how would you handle this, bro? What if you saw somebody in the hot tub possibly overheating or passing out? Would you help them or just leave them alone?
Yeah, but that's like a serious thing. Like, and I've been in a sauna a little bit longer than maybe I should have. Again, I was actually drinking in it, which was probably pretty stupid. But still, like, you help people, yes, but like, I'm all for like kind of getting in and getting out, whatever you're doing at the gym. In this
Yeah.
case, it's hey man, loosen up the muscles. You just got to work out in. I got to work out in. Like let's get in and let's get out. But like if a dude's like slipping in and getting almost drowning status, yeah, I'm gonna pull Buddy out. I'm gonna pull him out. Like
Say that because when I came, bro, I'm not gonna relive my scare, but basically what you were saying, long story short, dehydrated, too long, worked out, sweated too much, didn't replenish, too long in the steam room, went to the hot tub, and basically started seeing white and started like fainting, and I was trying to speak to the dude, only person in the hot tub, like, yo, can I get some water? And he just thought I don't know what he thought, because he just totally ignored me. And by the grace of God, aka JB, I got
right.
up and stumbled to the bathroom
Yeah.
and just laid on the cold tile until I got enough strength, and then I ran under the. Dude, I was sprawled out like brisket, bro. And then I finally drank some water like out the sink, and I was Gucci. So
In my head, I just see you like kind of slumped, and like this dude like looking at you drinking the water, being like, "Damn, bro, that's real inconvenient for you." Like,
dude, I was like, dude, I walked up fighting that guy, but I survived. Nah, so I mean, yeah. Shouts to the gym. It's like symbolic. I love it, the concept of going to the gym. I think everybody should go for your mental health, for your physical health. It's a place where you can meet a girl, guy. You may run into a future business partner. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But
I always ask that, like with my female friends or even women that I meet, in the wild, because like I think it's like a different thing, like getting hit on at the gym, and it goes both ways. I think it's more of dudes at the gym be like, oh, yo, that chick's bad. Like I'm gonna go over there, which, in my opinion, it's like
bad idea.
she ain't going there to like maybe she is, I don't know, but like I've never seen, again, maybe I'm not the physique that would be successful in that scenario, but like I'm just like, yo, she don't want to talk to you, like especially if she's like, again, there's some very attractive women at the gym, and I'm sure there's a lot of attractive women for the ladies at the gym. That's where people like that congregate, but like again, half the time people are going in there to get in and get out. Like, there's certain people that love the gym and they love the culture, great. But I would put money on 80% of people are there like, you know what, man, I'm trying to lose a few pounds or I'm trying to keep it off. I got to get this done before I go do whatever else I'm interested in. Like,
yeah,
the
or
last thing I think.
you have the chance of, if they're there, they're a streamer, they might be live on Instagram, and you could just follow them on Instagram and be like, I think you're cute, turn around, I'm at the gym, what's up?
Well, that's creepy as hell, but like,
You see how also, out the game?
That's also not hitting on them at the gym. Technically, like that's sliding in the person's DMs. Like,
true. You're boxed out.
Also, fuck people posting on Instagram while they're working out. Like,
yeah, I hate that. I don't. Maybe I'm a hater, and I was talking about that with the food reviewers, which ironically I'm one. Bloody Mary, bro. But I do it. My love for Bloody Mary reviews is to share an experience that I'm having with this Bloody Mary. Like, yo, let me tell you about it. I'm not hoping that people go and have it. Like, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I mean, reviewing. Like, I get if your thing is, you're a fitness page. Okay, I get that, and that's necessary. People that are interested in how to do certain lifts or certain exercises the right way. But like if your whole goal is to film, you're not going to belong to Export. You're not going to belong to Planet Fitness. You're not going to belong to LA Fitness. Like you're going to go to one of these private gyms. And like I saw someone put up an idea that like a gym should open for people like that. Like that's the whole point. Like, okay, you're into fitness, but you're also a content creator. Like this is the place for you. Like, and there's easily a market for that. And so then the regular people like you and me, where it's like, fuck, I had too many burritos this weekend. I should probably go run on the treadmill. We could do that without getting caught on 4K for some dude trying to show off his ab workout. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, nah, I'm with that, dude. And also, it's like, as somebody that likes to do, like, back to the food review stuff, like, even to my extent of my reviews, I don't even like to talk, like, in public. Like, I'll just do the recording of it, and then I'll do the voiceover after the fact, because I cringe when I'm next to people that are like, yo, so we're back, and they're, like, talking to nobody in a crowded place. It's kind of, like, weird, you know what I'm saying? And I'm all
Like
for
working in a Starbucks.
yeah, I'm all for creativity. I'm all for creating, but this idea of like not like acting as if the real world doesn't exist so you can create your creative world is a little weird to me. So that with the gym working out thing.
Now that I'm doing this with you, because I've normally been on a soapbox of like, people don't give a shit what you're doing. And
Right.
now I'm like, wait a minute, like I kind of have a podcast, so like, am I part of the problem? Like,
Yeah,
um,
but see, that's what I was saying is if you come from a
but like,
place
I
where
don't take myself serious at all. Like, this is bullshit.
yeah,
you know,
but also if you come from a place of like you're just sharing your experience, I don't think you're trying to influence anybody to listen to you. You know what I'm saying?
no. If you
Know
like
what I'm
what I
saying?
have to say, great. That's fantastic.
Right. And that's where I say like I think there's some people that have to say something, and then there's some people that have something to say. And when it comes to my Bloody Mary reviews, when it comes to podcasting, when it comes to refereeing, I got something to say. Which you were talking about, on the Bucket Up podcast, we talk about different like tiers of people, like how they see themselves in different light. Like how somebody like will make their job sound way more glorified. They're like, oh, I'm a director of custodial arts. You're like, oh, you're a janitor. They're like, yeah, but
Right.
it's different. You know what I'm saying? You were talking about like dealing with different types of people and showing them different
I,
levels of
I was
respect.
saying dealing with authority.
Authority. Okay.
Um,
So break it down.
and so ref would be a form of authority. Your boss, an executive, the cops, a teacher. And I've always been a respectful person, and I always will be. But like, part of me in the back of my head's always like, man, like you just got kind of a title. Like, why do you have any authority over what I do? Like obviously like a boss is
Yeah.
a certain thing, but like I would do
Like,
horrible in the military. I would do horrible in it. Like
oh yeah, dude.
I'd get out of boot camp. I probably wouldn't even get out of boot camp.
Oh
I'd
no.
be, man, fuck you. I'm not running 3 miles.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. Be like, yo, I got flat feet. Say I don't. You know what I'm saying?
right. Like, yo, like I'll eat right. I'll get the boot camp like stuff, but like I'm gonna do it on
And I'll be
my
like,
own
wait.
time. Like,
I'm like push-ups. Nah, dog. It's not chest day. So you bugging? Like we gotta. And I'm like, second of all,
push-ups yesterday. Like, give me a different body part today. Like,
yeah.
come on, dog. Like,
And I'm like, with swimming, nah. None of y'all want to see me in hockey. Forget. We're not doing swimming right now.
right. And then if I do get out of boot camp, they're like, all right, dude, we're gonna go station you in somewhere in the Middle East. I'm like, nah, that sounds like your problem. Like, you go over there.
Yeah,
Like,
nah, son. They, like, or, I never really bought into the idea, like, with police or the cops or whatever you call them, the idea of you have to be, like, submissive to them at all times, where it's like, no, unless you break the law, you should probably listen to them. But if I see a cop at, like, Starbucks or something, I'm not like, oh, better perk up. Like, he's just a dude. You know what I'm saying? Just like a guy that does taxes.
nah, there's definitely subliminal shit like that. Like, if there's a cop like driving behind me, I'm like, ah, shit, was that doing something, or like, is he just driving around?
Did I
Like,
forget that pound of coke in my bag? Like, oh no.
right. Like, oh shit, do I have like a? Well, tell me if you've been here. So when I was younger and I didn't have like my own place, um, I think it was well known, like everyone in my family kind of smokes, other than my mom. But like, I kept it in my car, like all of it, all the time. Like my bowl, my grinder, my papers. Like I was always on the go. I'm like, well, my mom's never coming in my car, and my car is normally generally like a bombshell anyway, so she really didn't want to go in there. So I was like, this is the safest place I could do it where my mom's not going to pick it up. And so then, like, I never realized the flaw in that until I got in a car accident. Like, and I got in a pretty bad one. And so, like, they pulled the car out, up against whatever I smashed it, ended up smashing into or whatever. And, they searched the whole car. And so, like, after they figured out that, like, I didn't have a concussion, they put, like, a staple in my head. Cop rolls up with, all my paraphernalia. And he's like, "Is this why you got in an accident?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, it's not." Like, he goes, "I think you're lying." I'm like, "I'm not." Like, he's like, "Well, why is all this in your car?" And I was like, "Because I don't want my mom to find it." Like, I'll tell you the truth, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not high and driving. I just don't want my mom to find it. Like, I didn't think I was going to be in this scenario. Again, that's stupid, not thinking that scenario could have happened. But again, that's the authority of like, well, I'm a cop. You can't lie to me. I'm like, well, I'm not lying to you. Like, I get it. You're doing your job, but like, test me. I'm not, whatever.
Or I'm sure you've ever had jobs where the boss is like an asshole, clearly, and for some
Yeah.
reason there's like one employee that gets away with talking shit to that. It's like they gotta be related or something. There's no way this dude's not fired. Like I'm afraid to say
Right.
like if I don't say yes sir, I'm like, oh fuck. I worked at this radio station and the guy was like everyone was like he was such an asshole to everyone, and then everyone like bowed down to him, and then I didn't catch on to his scariness, or I just wasn't able to get that like influence, and it was like the reverse. Like people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you talked to Mike that way." I was like, I don't know. He asked me a
It's
question.
Mike. Why wouldn't I talk to Mike that way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I answered it that way. But yeah, man, I don't know. As for authority, I've always promised myself, like, if I ever get into a position of authority, that I won't sell out and be, like, a lame-o type shit. Because I've had too many homies that... I've had specific homies that in jobs, like, we talk about, like, yo, why don't you, like, talk about promoting me? Then, like, it'll be sick. You'll work for me. And at the time I was going through college, I'm like, yeah, like, I don't even want to get promoted, And then...
Yeah.
I had a homie that we were like best friends, and then the second he became a boss, he became like such a dick and used me as an example for everything. And I was like, "Yeah, this is whack." An example.
I don't want to be in the public light this much.
Well, a pure example was I worked at a store that was the only store that closed an hour later than all the other stores.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Bro, I to be real with you, I closed like 30 minutes to go. Like it's not even a thing." And so because when he taught me that, I just followed suit, and then one time he like pulled up on me knowing that the store would be closed, and like was like, "Why are you closing the store early?" I'm like, "Bro, you literally taught me this. Like, come on."
Right.
Bro. So it was whack.
I think it's a weird line to toe. Like I've done well enough in my sales career where about 80% of the time I was able to say some wild shit because I'm like, "What, are you gonna get rid of me?" Like, I produce. But there's a job where I wasn't producing, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut a little bit, because like you don't know what the type. But on the other end of that coin, like there's people in positions of authority that like they're wet blankets, and the biggest reminder of that to me is back home, my high school. There's this, and I'll say his name. Normally, I try to stay away from certain things here, but it was a security guard, and he drove around in a van, and everyone knew he was a pushover. Everyone knew he might have been like boozing on the job, but his name was Brooks. I forgot what his first name was, but everyone just knew him as Brooks. And like we had this weird rule, like you could go off campus, but you couldn't to like go get lunch, but you couldn't like drive. And so, like, people got in trouble for that all the time because, like, there's, like, 2 places for your lunch break. You would have the time to leave school, go get the food, eat the food, and then walk back. Like, if you wanted anything else, you would have had to drive.
Right.
So, like, everyone got in trouble for that. And so one time I got out of it because everyone had heard the rumor that, he's always got his little orange juice thermos. And it's like, well, what's really in that orange juice thermos? And so he was like, "Oh, I'm going to write you up." And I was like, I don't know, Brooks. Like, I'm a little thirsty. Can I see what's in that? See what's in that thermos? And he just looks at me and my buddy is like, "All right, get out of here." I'm like, "Yo!" Like I couldn't believe it worked. And then I tried it one too many times, and he finally got me. And then he had a whole stack of them, and I had to. My mom definitely had a field day with. Well, why aren't we getting these notes and blah 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 and this and that? You've been driving off of campus for like 3 months. I'm like, shit. I talked way too much shit when I was getting off with it, but again, like that guy was way too easy. Talk to anybody from my hometown. They probably have a Brooks story because that guy just didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? Like
Mostly people that don't work at a high school don't.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I think authority. I've also said like the bosses that act the least amount like a boss and just act like a fellow coworker would be like tend to be the best leaders and the best like bosses anyway, because nobody flocks to like I'm just listening to you because you say so, and this power dynamic,
right?
Calls for it. So with that being said, man, I am a referee. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to NFL flag. You know what I'm saying? Your man ref just the ref, if you will. Yeah, just that, man. I watch a lot of, how to be a ref, a lot of sports, mic'd up situations with coaches arguing with refs, baseball managers arguing with umpires and stuff. And I've always actually found like a cool appreciation for like the level-headedness that referees can have, because like throughout the entire game there's shit on. Either one side's happy or one side's mad. Like you're never gonna get both sides and be like, you know what, we lost, it's our fault. They're gonna blame the ref, right? So
right.
It's been cool to see how refs are like. I always thought like, yo, why do they take that? And a lot of the refs say, which is how I feel, like they just really love the rules of the game, and the rules is what makes the game, and like enforcing that is enforcing the game. If you just let everybody just keep score themselves, it's like it's a backyard shit, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that too. So I always said, if I was a referee, I wouldn't be egotistical, and I wouldn't, get in people's face and have to let them know, oh, I'll throw you out of here and all these things. I would just let the rule book talk, And so far, I've reffed like, I don't know, 10 games already, and I think that's been the vibe. But recently, man, I've been sick, and the other day I knew I was like, I can't cancel. I got to work anyway, so I went, and I was like, dude, I'm not gonna have any patience today for any type of like talk back. And the last couple games there hasn't been, so I was banking on that. Nah, man, the first like 2 minutes, a coach is complaining about where I'm standing because the players have to line up. They can't pass me on defense where I'm standing and stuff. And I'm like, a yard to like 2 yards shy of like where I'm supposed to be. And it's subjective, right? Like a foot.
Right.
It's like, whose foot? My foot, like it's steps. It's not like I
Your
actually
foot,
have like.
that guy's foot,
Yeah, exactly. So he's like yelling at me, you should be standing here. You should be standing here. And so I barked back, which looking back, I'm like, I couldn't. I didn't say anything crazy, but I just said to him, you do your job, I'll do mine.
Right.
That was one, and I was like, I didn't need to say that, but it was like whatever. And then later, he was complaining about a call. I should have blew the whistle. I should have done that. And I was like, again, coach, you coach, I'll ref. Is that fair? I'm just saying. And then the third and last one was he lost, so he wasn't happy with me. And I have to get the refs to sign like the scorecard at the end of the game.
The refs or the coaches?
Oh, my bad. The ref has to get the coaches to sign the scorecard. And I was like, here you go, ref, or coach, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, maybe next week you'll earn your pay. I was like, so I
bro, I get paid by the game. Like, I already got paid. Like,
yeah, bro.
I earned it. Like,
but then, like, the other parents and stuff heard it and kind of, like, gave me a look like, what are you going to do? So I just kind of walked up to him and I was like, sir, I was like, plainly, not going to take the disrespect. Just not going to do it.
Right.
And he was like, well, I'm saying. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Say what you need to say. Just not going to take the disrespect. Just not going to do it. And I felt like I've been in this shit for like 12 years. It was a legit, seasoned, like, you know what I'm saying, hold your own type thing.
That was a big boy power move. I respect it.
It was. And then later on in the game, they tell us, because I'm moving up and down the sideline, if players or coaches get in my way, give them a couple warnings, and if they don't listen to your warnings, you could throw a flag. You could,
throw the laundry. Get that laundry out there.
So after like the third or fourth time, I told the coach, I said, Coach, if I don't get you back, I'm gonna throw a flag. If I bump into one of you guys, I'm gonna throw a flag. And one of the players was like, what? And the coach was like, don't talk back. And I looked at him and I said, yes, because guess what? If I bump into you and I miss a play, who's going to complain to me about missing a call? You two. And the only person I know that has eyes in the back of her head is my mama. That shit was legit, bro.
Right. Dead ass.
Dead ass. So he was like, all right, move it back. They didn't throw a flag after that, bro. And then, I didn't have to throw a flag after that. And then the last one, man, was, and this is not even, this transcends referee-isms. This is not something I rock with at all. Ty can tell you this. My brother can tell you this. I don't rock with hypotheticals and unproven situations, right? Like,
okay.
For example, if we go to a restaurant and I say, yo, let's go get burritos, and there's no burritos on the menu, and I say some shit like, well, there was last time, who the fuck cares? We're dealing with now, right?
Right now there's not a burrito as an option.
Yeah, so like let's talk about what we can get. So for example, I have to do a flag check before every game. I got to make sure these kids are not cheating. They're not super gluing the flags in, right? They're not rolling it up 1,000 times, right? They're not sagging it down. So if one thing falls, everything, right? So I'm doing a flag check, and the coach is like, oh, I've never had this done before. I was like, no one's done a flag check for you, coach? And he's like, yeah, I've been coaching this league for years. I was like, well, I'm sorry that a ref has not done their job before. Like, fam. Like, that's like...
I'm here now, and this is what I was told to do.
I was like, fam,
so I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I'm checking the flags. I'm sorry that I can't, this hasn't happened before? Thank you. Tell me other things that has taken place without me being around.
That's the first thing they teach you as a coach or a player in any sport. You are not going to get the same ref from game to game. If you do, great. And if you understand how they call the game, great. Like, a pretty famous story of how Kobe had, a book of every ref that he possibly had and what their quirks were. Like, if this guy has been, coaching or teaching in that flag league for 15 years or whatever, well, now he's got to make a new page because Jesse's in town. He's probably got, okay, I like Bob that's been around for 5 years. Oh, there's this kid Kyle that's kind of new, but, he kind of lets him play. Now he's going to have one that says, Jesse's a prick and checks the flags every week.
and, bro, just like what I say about politics, just about sports, just about food takes, I'm here for the consistency. I'm not about right versus wrong anymore. I'm just all about consistency and authenticity. Right. And this same coach that was barking about me checking his players' flags was telling me how there was a player on the other team, his flag was loose. And I was like, okay, so you want me to check the flags now, or you don't? Like, are you telling me what we were doing before was needed, or are you going back on your word? You know what I'm saying?
Most people that are watching this won't understand it, but there's this weird rule in college lacrosse where, a lot of your uniforms, your gears have to be, the same. And a coach for the University of Maryland ended up winning a game because he called out that, a bunch of the other dudes' gloves weren't, whatever the weird rule is with the gloves, they call it Glovegate now. They got, a non-releasable penalty for it. And everyone's like, oh, who calls the shit or who notices that? And I'm like, that's technically good coaching. If you know the rule book that well, where you can look across the sideline or down the sideline and realize, those boys aren't buttoned up right, that's a competitive advantage. If your coach knows that type of stuff, That's smart. And is it kind of shady? Maybe a little bit, a little tacky. But hey, man, sports get a little tacky.
I mean, that's no different. That's no different than in baseball batting at the dude that has a bum leg or something to make him run towards the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's an advantage. Yeah, I'm with it, bro.
Right. If the shortstop's got a wobbly ankle, I'm trying to hit grounders in the gap between the shortstop and the third baseman every time.
Yeah, exactly. Or if he's, lefty and he has to run to his left or whatever. Yeah, it depends on what it is. But yeah.
Same thing with basketball. Oh, the guy's got a weak left hand. Push him left. That's all that shit is.
Dude, and if you watch sports, they're the players are the biggest snitches ever. The second somebody even comes offside, they're like yo. Like, so if a coach points something out, it says trust me, man.
Keep it consistent.
Yeah, keep it consistent. That's all I want, bro. So
especially since there's the saying, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Like, if that exists, there's got to be people snitching because someone's cheating, or trying to.
And I'm like, bro, not to be like, when our parents are like, yo, like, you can't sneak out, like, everything you've done, you're trying to do, I've done it before type shit. Like, with sports, I'm like, I was a wise ass with the refs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
I did get them know them personally. So I'm like, trust me, bro, you're not getting anything by me. I am telling you, unless you blatantly cheat or some shit, it's not happening. Like, or that was this same coach. They got a pick six, but it was I blew the play dead because it was a false start, and he let his player run the whole field. And I was like, he can do that. I was like, the play's dead though, And then he finally looks at me. He's like, wait, what? And I was like, you waited till he was in the end zone to look at me. I was blowing my whistle the whole time. He's like, I didn't hear it. I was like, then how come everyone else stopped? But the one
you got selective hearing.
Yeah. So.
And people are talking trash to each other, repping their hometowns and shit. Like, all right, dude. Like,
yeah. So, yeah, dude. So as a referee, man, I'm in the paint. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the black and white paint.
I like it. You set tripped a little bit. Now you, instead of chirping the ref, you're getting chirped as a ref. It's full circle of life.
I don't even know. The next sport I'd probably see myself being like baseball umpire or first base umpire or something.
You got to work on your strike calls. You got to get the chomp right.
I'd have the best. Dude, I would love. I gotta work on that.
Teed up?
No, I have an ejection one teed up though. I would just.
Just casually.
It's the point.
Nah, man, you gotta put a little gusto in it. Like, make them feel it.
If they would say some shit like, I don't know why they get like mad harsh. There was times where I'm like, yo, maybe I won't wear my glasses because I don't want them to come at me like, you blind motherfucker. Obviously, you didn't see that call, So maybe
make sure your contacts are in that day.
Yeah. If that happens, maybe I'll hit them with the. All right, you're out of here. You know what I'm saying? All right, now you're out of here. You know what I'm saying?
I like the bravado in sports. I know I like the machismo shit. I like the pageantry of it. Bat flips.
Oh, dude, I want
reps.
I want to do. You're right. Instead of like throwing somebody out, I want to cordially be like, hey, for me, will you escort yourself out of this game, please, before this gets hectic?
I'd be like, damn. Like, if you're going to throw me out, like, throw me out.
We're going to have to politely remove you, sir.
I'm like, nah, dude, yell at me. Like, kick my ass out.
You might have to swing on a third grader. I don't know what to tell you, sir. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's what I got, man. I'm sticking to it. I'm only getting better as a ref. I'm only learning more, Tackle football would be tough. I don't know if I could. I mean, I probably could. I'll probably lean towards it, see what's it like.
I mean, it's a different game. It's actually I've seen a little bit of stuff like this. Any contact sport, they're trying to make it safer, and so like reffing that would probably be a little bit different. Like, I see flags get thrown in football or violations in lacrosse and hockey where I'm like, man, I don't think I know the rules of this game anymore. Like that looked like a pretty clean hit to me. And I think that there's maybe a little bit more of reactive play calling, especially with hits.
Yeah.
Like I saw one for I think it was Boston versus Loyola in lacrosse. Again, I've been watching a lot of lacrosse right now since football's done. And like I saw the clip of it, and I was like, "Yo, that was a badass hit." And then like I looked at the comment section, and everyone was like, "Yo, dude, like why did they throw a flag on that?" I'm like, "Yo, hold up, like how was that illegal?" And like this kid got crushed, like bad pass by the goalie. The kid wasn't looking. The defender knew what he was doing. Shoulder in his chest, and like you heard the pop. Like when a big hit happens, you hear the pop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the penalty there? And someone had a comment, and I agreed with it. It's like I think a lot of refs start throwing flags because of the severity of the hit, not like if it was a legal one or not. Like everyone's so worried about player safety that it's like, oh, if that kid got crushed, it must have been a dirty hit. It's like, no, dude, like that was sound defense on a bad pass. Like other people got to be better. You don't have to flag the kid because he embarrassed the shit out of that dude for not paying attention. Like
yeah, I hear what you're saying. And that's where there's unwritten rules in sports where like you ever notice in basketball, it's like if you cross somebody up so bad, it's like you're not even supposed to shoot. You're supposed to just pass it. It's like, nah, I'm making.
No, I'm shooting it.
I'm shooting the guy probably gonna miss.
What did you miss? Like, what did you miss though? Like, if you piece some dude up, like you get him with the tween, a little bit of a cross, and then like you basically have a wide open layup because you cross the guy and like it rims out. Right? Like everyone's like, oh, yo, his bag's legit. I'm like, well, his layup bag isn't legit apparently. Like
yeah.
you have to finish. Like
his bag's got holes, B.
Yeah, that bag's is like a little bit of a burlap sack, not a paper one or a plastic one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I chalk it up to I think player safety because both ways. It's like, and listen, you don't gotta be political to talk politics, or vice versa. But like, it's kind of like that argument, like, yo, what's more important, the product, or the product, or the people that make up the product, right? So it's like, what's more important, the football games or the players, the most important player? It's like at some point the game must go on, but it's like if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, like how many second string players is worth the excitement of watching? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But like you can't, and you're using the perfect example. Like someone said in the Super Bowl, like, oh, like they're soft. They didn't want to like hit Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, no shit, he didn't, because like you're gonna like.
He's $1 trillion investment.
Right, like that's the that's the investment, that's the franchise, that's the league. You're going to give up 15 yards if you breathe on him. That's what I don't like about where football's going is like, I'm not saying it's fixed, but again, there is kind of the unwritten rule with like quarterbacks. So it's like high profile quarterbacks, if you freaking wink at them, roughing the passer, 15 yards. Oh, now the Chiefs are in the red zone. Like, okay, like if you're playing football, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I will say, like the size difference between like a defensive lineman and a quarterback is fucking scary.
It is, but they all work out. That risk, and that's why you follow your training programs from the teams. That's why you listen to the doctors. That's why Tom Brady and LeBron spend $1 million a year on personal fitness outside of what the Lakers and the Buccaneers and the Patriots do for them. Like, so you can handle the size disparity. Well, maybe not for LeBron. LeBron's the size difference. But, like, Tom Brady ain't that big of a dude. He ain't built. He's not jacked. Like,
or, like, when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they're like, yo, that's on him, bro. He just got tackled textbook. Like, don't make this like a protect the quarterback issue. Like, that,
No.
That motherfucker
your
just got
line's
hurt.
Trash. You're 40 years old. You tried to roll out, and your leg got caught up. Like,
you listen
it's just that it happened to the Jets because the Jets are going to jet one way or another.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a guy that hates the media and goes to the #1 media market. It's funny
makes no
stuff.
sense.
It's funny. I don't want to be a headline. Breaks his leg becomes the funniest headline.
The biggest headline of all, like the whole year.
You know what I'm saying? More like a foot line. Nah.
Hates science, but goes to some specialty doctor to maybe come back by week 16. Like,
because
fuck you, dude. Like,
because he knows super science. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, nah,
Well,
fuck
my
that.
science and my doctor is better than your science and your doctor.
Yeah,
I'm from Northern California. I know better. Like, okay,
yeah,
dude. Like,
yeah. That's why hey, and then you just give me another reason to not like the Jets. It's like sometimes it's just like, oh, just you just hating on the Jets. It's like yes, and now gladfully, you know what I'm saying, gleefully, you know what I'm saying.
it's funny.
The
The
Zach
Jets are a
Wilson
funny thing
jokes.
for me.
The Zach Wilson jokes was too easy. The mom jokes. So I was like, all right.
It's not even that I hate the Jets, and I should. They're in the Dolphins division, but like I hate the Cowboys more than I hate the Jets. Like the Jets are just kind of a joke to me. And again, I can't take myself too seriously. Miami hasn't really done much recently, but
Since the
the
70s.
Jets are just so laughable. Like right on cue. Like, oh, everyone was talking the Jets up, and I was before the season. I was like, the Jets will find some way to do what the Jets always do. I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. But before the end of the regular season, the Jets are going to just shoot themselves in the foot. And that was beyond my wildest dreams of how the Jets were going to. Like, 4 plays in, he goes down. Like, that's probably, you can't script that. That's
Right. Like he would sign up for
like,
that script. And
not right. Like,
yeah.
you can't script that. You can't write that. Like, all that money they put into it. Like, that's just life. That's sports. Like, shit happens.
It would have been way worse. And I'm thinking because like it was so close to how when it happened, and they say, oh, it was a freak accident. It could have happened whenever. What if he tore his ACL running out with the American flag? Like that would have been
That would have been hysterical.
the
No,
blooper
not
of.
really, because again, I don't wish hurt on anybody, but like
I mean, knowing that it happened, it already happened.
knowing that it happened, that would have made it so much wilder. Like he didn't even make it to the field. Like
You had like negative rushing yards. Yeah, dude. I don't know. That's another thing. Consistency, authenticity. We don't go out of our way to make fun of people, but if you put yourself in a position where it's like, all right, don't talk shit while you carrying an egg on a spoon and being like, yo, I'm the best egg spoon carrier, and then you fucking drop the egg and people are like talking shit, and then they're like, yo, get off your back.
Right.
He's like, no, he was talking hella shit. He was telling us he was gonna carry that egg to the Super Bowl. But
right.
anyway, what else you got, bro? I'm fucking.
I was laughing about something that made me think of some stories of how people kind of rep where they're from.
Fully,
You know,
what I'm saying? Gang, gang.
always, and I do it too. You've probably seen some of the hats I wear. This one isn't, but I'll wear some Rochester stuff. Kind of put on for small businesses. My buddy does content creation, and he gives me a lot of hats of what he gets. But living in Chicago, there's a big North Side South Side thing here.
Yeah.
And so I think people from the South Side of Chicago kind of tend to wear that on their sleeve a little bit more than people from the North Side. They're big White Sox fans. A lot of the South neighborhoods that border the city and the South suburbs, that's kind of where all the cops and the firefighters live. So there's a lot of service people pride, which that's a good thing. The South Side Parade is different than the mainstream one here. So those people are very prideful, and I think that's cool. I think it's kind of what makes Chicago Chicago, what makes New York New York. Cities like that. But I think it's interesting, like weird scenarios where you interject like how you're going to rep where you're from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
And so I was out the other day and heard a South Side guy talking about how South Side he was, and it reminded me of a story when I was a kid, or maybe a kid, young adult. I initially went to West Virginia before I went to Buff State, and when you're 18, you still play tackle football for pickup, right? You're still young, dumb, and stupid. Where, fuck it, I don't care. Like, me and the boys are gonna get together.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I came across the middle, and like this kid just absolutely destroyed me. Like, I got fucked up. Like, probably a bigger hit than I took anything when I had pads on. So like, I'm on the ground and I get up. I'm like, man, like that fucking hurt. This kid's like flexing on me. He's like, yo, bro, that's from PG County, Maryland. I'm like, yo, man, I don't even know where the fuck that is. Like, and like, I looked it up, and it's apparently Prince George's County in Maryland. Looks like it's a pretty big county down there, and apparently they're good at football. Crab cakes in Maryland. That's what crab cakes in football. That's what Maryland does. Yeah.
I got homies from Moco County, Montgomery County, so I don't know.
And I again, my response was because of his, but at the time, I'm like, who reps their county? Like, maybe your town or like your city, like, fine. But like this dude said he was part of the whole county. Like,
he's like, I go to the congressional meetings on Thursdays. What's good, bro?
Right. Like, I'm the leading speaker of the caucus and the high school associations. Like, I'm like, okay, dude, you got it.
My homie from Chicago, when I first moved out to Arizona. Arizona's a melting pot. It's rare when somebody's from Arizona, so that's like another cool thing. Is like, I feel like I've learned a lot about my New Yorkness being out here, which is like, kind of deep. But my boy was telling me, he's like, yo, does every New Yorker announce where they're from before or after their name? I was like, why? Not usually. Sometimes, yeah, like, yo, Brooklyn, like, what up? But like, rarely. Why? He's like, because I met this guy, and he kept saying Charles. And instead of Manhattan, he would say Manhattan. So he'd say, yo, Charles from Manhattan. And he's like, so anytime he thought of New York, he thought of Charles from Manhattan. But then that reminds me, what was that?
Well, no, but like, that's at least like a borough, or like he might take it a step deeper and do the neighborhood of Manhattan that he grew up in. Like, that would make a little more sense to me, but.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard the county. I've had a dude that say a direction. I had this customer back when I worked in Verizon, and his name was Sal from South Philly. So, he rocked the direction. And I was like, so he's covering all South Philly, you know what I'm saying? And he used to say that over the phone, like, hey, is Jesse there? Tell him it's Sal from South Philly. And I was like, I don't know any other people. I don't know a Sal from North Philly. So good,
or from Philly, so I would assume you're from the one from South Philly.
Yeah.
Well, then it gets you. Then it gets you doing it. So, like, you might have started accidentally telling that guy, like, oh, yo, it's Jesse from Brooklyn. and like, to the story that I was telling, like, I was like, all right, well, I got to get this guy back. Like, I got to go out like no punk bitch, right? So I ended up laying the kid out. I'm like, yeah, but I'm from Monroe County. And then, like, I thought it was going to be so hard. Like, it was like kind of like a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment where, like, I'm like, yo, I'm that dude. Like, I laid this dude out. I got him back. Told him what county I'm from. And, like, everyone's looking around like, well, where's Monroe County from? I'm like, oh, man. Like,
yeah.
I knew this kid was from Maryland when he said PG County. I'm like, yo, Monroe County, bitch. They're like, where are you from? Like,
everyone's pulling out their, like, maps and shit. They're like, I don't, man.
There's some dude on the sidelines like, I think it's from New York. I'm like, yo, that's it. Like, that's my guy. Like,
my guy's out here with the Waze app, baby. Yeah, nah.
But he wasn't playing. The dude that knew it wasn't playing, so it didn't have the weight that I thought it was going to. But
it's different if it's like a place that has multiple places, like Louisville. There's like a Louisville, Alabama, Kentucky, and Kansas. So it's like, yo, I'm from Louisville. Right. Which one, B? Like,
right.
These got tiers. One might be scary, one might not be. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and I'm sure there's a ton of Monroe counties throughout
the world.
This country is this country is so, like, non-creative with its naming. Like,
oh, true.
There's a Monroe Avenue here in Chicago. There's a Monroe Avenue in Rochester. There's a town
Main Street. There's a Main Street in every state.
Well, that at least that's like kind of descriptive though. Like that makes sense. But like, I was at the gym the other day and someone had a Victor Auto Group from Batavia, Illinois, but there's the town of Victor and the town of Batavia back home. So like I'm like, did I like walk through a portal and go home? Like Victor and Batavia, like just so uncreative. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's
You got to give me a
let's
different
not name
name, bro.
everything Johnson, right? Like,
You can't Truman show me my whole life, bro.
right.
Yeah.
Put me in a box.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, dude. Well, I'd say you should if that sale that you've been banking on at work, if it goes through, be like, "Yo, what's up, Morgan County or Monroe County, baby? What's good?"
Thanks for signing the paperwork.
That's how we do around here. Yeah, now it's Suffolk County, so shouts to that, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I rock Suffolk County. Fuck Nassau. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, shit. That's all I got, man. I figured keep them a little light today. Get the app cooking. Get some clips going. But yeah, nah, dude. I think what's his name? Fuck. What was I gonna say before? Anyway, I forgot. But yeah, that's all I got, man. What do you got?
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I didn't know if you wanted to do the. You hyped about NCAA 25?
Oh, yeah,
or,
we can talk about that real quick. Yeah, so video games, man. I've been holding off on video games because I'm broke, and I don't support $70 video games. I want to get Spider-Man 2. So if any of the buckets out there want to slide into my Venmo and treat, hey, I'll do a video game review maybe. Ooh, who knows? Nah, JK. But yeah. I do want to get that, but I'm like, nah, I'll hold off till NCAA 25, which most Americans, most football fans around the world have been waiting 15 years for, NCAA game. I think it'll be fun, man. Especially now that, whenever I played those games, I didn't really know what college I was going to go to at that time.
Right.
Until, I went to college. And now I'm like, yeah, my create character is going to go through ASU. And he's going to win the national championship, you know what I'm saying?
You're going to make him relevant, the most relevant school.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're going to make it on ESPN finally, and I'm going to relive my glory days, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But,
I'm so hyped for it, and, I hope I'm not getting too hyped for it, because I don't want him to screw it up. Everything that was so great about it, like the Dynasty mode, the Heisman game mode, the Road to Glory, all that stuff. I kind of want that, slightly revamped, and, now you'll get the names from the, the name, image, and likeness stuff. I just don't want them to make it into, the microtransaction bullshit that you get with Madden. You know what I mean? I don't buy Madden anymore. They've stripped Madden from everything that I liked about it. And so I'm like, man, I'm not buying this to see what Tua's rating's going to be. You know what I mean? I want what I like, change is different. So I'm interested on, are you going to give us the game modes the right way that we all know and love? Are you going to keep the recruiting the same thing? The funnest part of it for me was picking, being the head coach at some dog shit school, kind of making them relevant, giving them a bid in a better conference. Then I'd go and be an offensive coordinator because nobody ever played defense in that. And then you get to be a blue chip head coach. The progression was so fun, and the creative things you could do, making Kurt Rogers a 5-star prospect from Canada. Yo, dude, you ever see this dude Kurt from Canada? It's lit.
Yeah, bro. He gets an extra year. They call it a gap year or something.
Right.
You know what they should do, Kurt? And we could leave it on this. Well, no. One, I'll say, they're talking about who should be on the cover. I think somebody that was good in college football should be on the cover. I hate to say I'm not a hater, bro. Shedeur Sanders, you could say his stats, a lot of his stats came in garbage time, bro. They got maxed out. They fucking sucked. You know what I'm saying? They won 4 games, and 3 of them were not in the conference. That's not a good college football.
Who would you put there? Because now they could put a current guy.
Okay, you know who I want?
It doesn't need to be J.J. McCarthy. It doesn't need to be Caleb Williams. It doesn't need to be Drake May or Marvin Harrison Jr., whatever guy you want.
If
Who's
Ricky,
current right now that
the best
you
catch,
would put on the cover?
the best catch of last year was the Ricky Pearsall catch, the guy from Florida. So
Okay.
if he's
Is he staying?
if he's staying, I think that should be the cover.
That would be lit.
Yeah,
That would be dope.
that's what I'm saying. And then if not, it should be.
Is Blake Corum from Michigan staying? I don't know. Again,
Oh no, I think he's gonna go to the league.
he's going.
Yeah.
If
So
he's going to the league, dude, I hope the Bears and the Dolphins get him just because I think that boy knows how to run the ball real well.
or even
But,
even you could do like a picture of like something like what's that called, graphic, like what's his name, like the Harbaugh Jim, but just like being X'd out with the red Michigan, like something, I don't know, fucking like some real college shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
yeah, I guess college is more about the school than it is about players and coaches. But
But you know what they could do, Kurt? What they should do? There should be a feature where your player can come into the real life and get his college loans forgiven by the government.
boom.
Talk that talk. But nah, man.
Actually, I read an article about the deal that you get if you want your name in the game, like what your compensation would be, and it was like $600 and a copy of the game on whatever console you play. And I'm like, that seems kind of low, dude.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money that game's gonna make, but then again, it's a lot of kids. You know what I mean? Like, what kid plays on any of those teams that isn't gonna be like, yo, like, get my shit in there?
Yeah. $600 is like, that sounds like what they pay like content creators to review the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Like, if I'm a beta tester for the game, I'd get what, $600 and a copy of the game. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
no, but you don't have to pay for the game now, so that's $670 worth of value.
And I don't got to do these 2-a-days with these football
Right,
players.
right,
You know,
right.
so- But
I'm
hyped.
excited for it.
I'll pay the $70. I'm not gonna pay the $200, elite package shit.
Nah, not doing
They
that.
can miss me with that. But
No.
I mean, we'll piece this up. Probably throw this up. We'll get some clips. We'll get some takes from the buckets. What y'all think about, the gym? What do you guys think about treating authority? What you guys think about handling authority? And also, if you're ready for college
Where
football,
do you feel the need to rep your hometown or county?
or if you forget your hometown. I know a lot of people that are like, nah, that's old me. Don't bring it up, So who knows? I rep my hometown fully. You know what I'm saying? I'm hardly home, but always repping. Shouts to Drake. He Jewish. But yeah, man, not JK. It's the third show on the network that is Bucket Up Media. We got the Bucket Up Podcast. Shouts to Ty Doyle, DJ Butter. One day we'll get you back. We got the I Don't Know show. I'm trying to get my shit situated and figuring out what the move with that is. And then also we got Not JK, Jesse, and Kurt. And then we got shit sprinkled in, like the dog shelter. Donate, always. Desert Tales Doggy Shelter. We got the Bloody Mary reviews and the food sector. So if you're a chef, a foodie, and you want to get that tip going, contact me as well. And then, we're constantly growing. So if you got a niche or a pattern you want to, share in the creative light, I'm always accepting invites and ideas. Music might be the next move. So, yeah, man, for Kurt, I'm Jesse. For Bucket Up Media, that's all of us. You got anything else, Kurt, or can we let you go?
Nah, man, thanks for watching.
Of course, man. Appreciate y'all. We'll get you up out of here. Then we'll get this on the channel so you can tell your friends and your friends' friends to subscribe. Tune in, turn up, and bucket up.
We're your grandmother's favorite podcast.
We is. You know what I'm saying? We out.